Hello and welcome to Cache In On I.T, your go-to podcast for all things information technology at MCC. My name is Art Brown. I'm the Dean of IT at MCC, and I'm thrilled to guide you on this exciting journey through the dynamic world of IT. Together we'll explore the latest trends, innovations, and success stories within our department, giving you an insider's look at what makes our IT community thrive. Throughout our various episodes, we'll shine spotlights on the incredible talent of our faculty, the dedication of our staff, and some of the ambitious spirits of our students. So I would welcome you to sit back, relax, listen to our seasoned IT professionals and aspiring students as we begin this journey on our podcast. Today, I'm very welcome and super excited to have one of our former students, Miss MaRaya White. MaRaya, so happy to have you here again.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so I know you've got some really cool things happening, and I'm anxious to share those stories with our audience today. So the way this will work, I try to keep it informal, and we'll try to make this an impromptu conversation, and you're welcome to ask me questions too. So let's try to have a conversation. But I do have a few key things I want to ask you today. So my first question is, if you can reflect back and share with the audience here, myself, when your journey began as a student here at MCC, tell us how that journey went, and then you can maybe share some stories. I know you've since moved on to UNO and are pursuing a degree there. So if you can kind of tell us how it started here at MCC, that would be great.
So I actually began taking classes here at Metro when I was still in high school. I want to say my junior year or senior year, one of them, I can't remember, because I was a part of Avenue Scholars. Right. So we came here in the afternoon, took a few classes. I think I had like an English class or a math class or something like that here. And then once I graduated from high school, I began going here full time. As far as like my time here was honestly great. I didn't have any trouble, everyone, like all of the staff, professors were so welcoming, so helpful. And I think that was also in part because I was a part of Avenue Scholars, so we had, mentors that were there with us every step of the way. But as far as being in the IT program here in my time, like I said, it was very smooth, I didn't have any difficulty or like any trouble, getting help. Right. And I think it also helped because, you reached out to me. I think in my time here, reached out and, you were very helpful if I had any issues or later towards when I was graduating, you were helpful in finding me like an internship or jobs like that. So I think my time here at Metro was great. Okay, honestly.
Well, that's good to hear. Good. So elaborate a little bit more. So just for our audience, and I remember, but just so we can share with the team here, what you studied full stack web development here. So maybe just to elaborate for those listeners, students, and others, maybe share how that program went in detail. Like if you have any classes that stood out along the way. Any challenging classes, and how that maybe helped to prepare you for some of these opportunities that you've experienced since then.
Sure. So some classes that stood out to me, I would probably say is, and excuse me, I cannot recall the name, but it was a class where we kind of learned a section of each, not each, but a majority of IT professions or sections. Like we learned some about cybersecurity, coding. We also learned about actual computers, like routers, things like that, which obviously is important if you're a part of IT. Right. And I cannot recall the name for the life of me, but that is one.
It sounds like our intro to IT class.
I think it was intro to IT. And that class just stood out to me because, like I said, we learned so many different things, and I thought that was great because it's like you're getting exposure to something that you may, like a certain field that you may not have known you were interested in before. You might have just thought oh, okay, well, I'm in full stack, so I just have to code. But no, there's many different things you could do in IT. Like as I said, cybersecurity. If you actually enjoy just working on the computers yourself, you can do that. So that's one of the classes that stood out to me because I learned a lot in that course. A difficult class that I had was probably Python, learning Python. Class. I think it was just difficult for me to grasp the concepts of that. And I actually did not finish that class, unfortunately. I opted to take another class because it was so difficult for me to grasp. But looking back now, I wish I would have finished it because Python is actually still around and it is still used, even at my current position. Some of the developers there use Python. And so just looking back, I'm just like, oh, I wish I would have took it when I had the opportunity.
Right.
And it probably would have been more useful if I took it here at Metro, because like I said, the professors and the people here would have been so helpful. I could have got that help if I would have just took that initiative, but I think that was one of my...
You can always come back later and do more classes. So cool. Let's talk a little bit more. So let me just think here. If you want to share with the audience, you know, I'll share with the audience too. So MaRaya kind of mentioned it. You know, I reached out to her. I try to track a lot of our students and their successes along the way. And you came to my attention again because I just happened to be on LinkedIn, and I noticed you posted about a new job opportunity, or a promotion, I would say, that you've gotten. Before we jump to that, though, let's talk about, you know, your time, you know, from your time here at Metro to, if you want to share with the audience, you're pursuing your computer science degree at UNO. And if you can, maybe talk a little bit about what you did here coursework-wise to either help prepare, hopefully, for the coursework you're seeing at UNO, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, as you said, I am currently still pursuing my computer science degree at UNO, and honestly, all of the classes that I took here, like the coding class, like Java, JavaScript, Intro to IT, even like elective classes that I took here, all of those credits were able to transfer to UNO, so that saved me some time and not having to take those courses there, where I'm sure it would have been more difficult for me. So honestly, Metro really just set me on the path to be successful at UNO, because like I said, all of those coding classes done. I didn't have to take any of those. Most of my English classes, math classes, all of those credits were able to transfer, so I didn't have to, you know, do rework that I already did here. And I was able to just, you know, get started right away on that computer science degree. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
So let me go back a little further too. So I didn't ask you in the previous question, but so, you know, you came from North High School, is that correct?
Yep.
And we're in Avenue Scholars. When you came to Metro, did you know that you wanted to do IT, or were you still kind of exploring what you wanted to do at the time?
I did. Well, I did know once I started at Metro, I did know that I wanted to do IT. I actually got exposed to the IT when I was still in high school. The summer before my junior year, I want to say, I did Highlander Code Camp.
I remember, yes.
With the AIM Institute. So that's actually how I got exposed to IT, because before I did that code camp, I was not interested in IT at all. I didn't even know anything about IT. And honestly, me signing up to do that camp, it wasn't based off like, oh, I'm interested in IT. It was just like, okay, it's summer, you know, we get a stipend, we get a laptop, like might as well do something. But once I got into that code camp, I was like, okay, I actually like, you know, coding. I like IT. I think this is something I could do, pursue full time. But I was still on the fence when I joined the Avenue Scholars program. I was actually deciding between like IT and I wanted to do like psychology. But before I graduated and came here, I think Avenue Scholars removed the psychology major. You couldn't do it anymore. So I was like, well, that just forced my hand to do IT, which was it turned out to be a great thing. But yeah, I was still undecided, but in the end, you know, I chose IT, and I'm glad I did.
Gotcha. And I'm familiar with the Highlander Code Camp, but specifically when you got to Metro, were you, even though you were on the fence between psychology and IT, were you focused on, you know, front end or full stack web development, or?
Yep, I was focused on the front end. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then, you know, with that being said, after finishing up your degree coursework here at Metro, I'm curious, what prompted you to choose computer science for your bachelor's degree?
Well, because I was still I still wanted to do developing coding, and I felt like at UNO, computer science was most aligned with that. They do obviously have cybersecurity, or they have management of information systems, which is more of a broader and not so structured. But I just felt like computer science would probably be most aligned with what I wanted to do. So
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's jump to that. So the big thing. So again, how I kind of got in touch with you again was again, you posted on LinkedIn. You just got promoted to a full-time position at. I'll let you tell the audience. So.
Yes. So I just got promoted to full-time at Physicians Mutual. I work obviously in the IT department as a automation test engineer. Well, I guess the full title is Associate Automation Test Engineer, but test engineer nonetheless. So I got that promotion beginning of March. Before that, I was an intern there for 4 years, doing the same thing, same position, just I was an intern, so part-time. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Let's kind of going back to what you did here at MCC, and then if I recall, you secured that IT internship while you were here at MCC. Can you go a little bit further on your coursework? Like, was there? I mean, you touched on it a little bit, but could you say there were one or two courses here at MCC that prepared you for that internship opportunity, and then ultimately, kind of leading into maybe what you've done at Metro, and then what coursework you've done at UNO? Share with the audience like how your coursework's helped to prepare you for that experience.
Yeah, so actually the courses that I took here at Metro that prepared me for that internship were Java, which is what I work with on a daily, is Java.
Gotcha.
A little bit of JavaScript, not really, but it's mainly Java. So that was probably one of the main courses that really prepared me for that internship.
Okay.
As far as like coursework at UNO, well, when I first got the internship, honestly, obviously I was still here at Metro, so UNO wasn't in the picture. So I think most of the coursework, or like what got me through the door, was the coursework that I took here at Metro. And as I said, it was mainly that Java course, because in the interview they did ask me like some Java questions. So from me taking that course here at Metro, I had that knowledge to answer. So
well, that's good to hear. Okay, and then as that you were in your internship role, you said 4 years part-time, is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
And then can you say since you've been at UNO, has there been coursework that's helped you further enhance your skill set in your current role?
I would say not yet, because most of the coursework, like I said, I got most of the coding classes done here at Metro.
Okay.
So the coursework that I've taken so far at UNO, it's been IT focused, but not coding IT focused, if that makes sense. So it's like, I guess, like I have like business courses that have helped me, be able to manage in the corporate America world at UNO. That has helped me.
Gotcha.
But overall, as far as like what I do day to day coding wise, it's been the classes I've taken at Metro.
Okay.
So
that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Good. So I'm curious. I'm going to pause a minute too and kind of digress. So you mentioned you struggle a little bit with Python, but you seem to be fairly proficient with Java. I'm just, how do you reconcile that?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I think Java just really clicked for me, and I think it was maybe because I had seen a little bit of it at the Highlander Code Camp, so I think I had more familiarity with it.
Gotcha.
And as I said, I think me taking the Java course here, the instructor that I had, I want to say I had Jason McCoon, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I had Jason McCoon, and he was so helpful. Even if I didn't have him for that course, him as an instructor, I don't know if he's still here, but him as an instructor, so helpful. Like, I sent him an email, say, hey, I'm not getting this. He'll be like, okay, let's hop on a Zoom. Like, and he would walk me through it step by step, until and make sure that I understood it. So I think that's probably why Java just clicked more for me, because I had that like instructor there guiding me. I knew that if I had any question, he would be there to help no matter what time. Like if I said, okay, well, I can't meet during your office hours, but like, can we meet late? Like he would make it work. So I think that was probably the biggest thing of what helped me, click Java. And I think I just was more interested in Java as a language. Like, I don't know, I think it just made more sense to me rather than Python. I don't know, Python just seems so like it obviously all coding is a foreign language, but I don't know, Python just didn't click.
Okay, well that's good to hear. I'm sure Jason will be glad to hear this when he watches the podcast. So so you kind of talked about this too, your interview process with physicians. So could you share some insights like on the interview process specifically, like with current or previous students? With our current students that they may be interviewing for a similar role or just any IT role in general. What are some tips or takeaways you have from that experience? Yeah, so
my interview process was during COVID, so it was virtual. I'm sure things have changed now, but it was, I know in a lot of IT roles now, they do like multiple rounds of interviews, but mine was just one round. I did it, I was living on like the UNO, I was living in the UNO dorms on the campus, so I was just right there in my dorm room, just hopped on a Zoom call with who was my manager at the time. And as I said, he asked me Java questions. I want to say that he asked me like, a question that was related to like if I had to code something, how would I do it? Like what language would I do? And so, like I said, that Java course that I took here helped me, answer that. And then, it was just more like surface level questions. Like, did I know what automation testing was? Which I did not. I had no clue, and I was honest about that. I was like, this is my first time ever hearing of this. I don't know. So, and then just, asking me about previous experience. Obviously, I was in school at the time, so asked me about school and projected graduation dates and things like that. But overall, I feel like because it was during COVID, my interview process was not as difficult as I've now hear many people saying, even at physicians, when new people come in, they're like, yeah, I had so many rounds of interviews, and I'm like, yeah, no, mine's just so simple. But I'm grateful for that, because I probably wouldn't be in the position if I didn't have that opportunity. So
well, I mean, you've since done something to prove yourself, so
right.
I'm thankful for that too.
Yeah.
Cool. What about so let's see. So you kind of touched on this a little bit. Again, back to key skills and knowledge areas that you gained during your time at MCC and at UNO. So you said obviously the programming classes here at Metro have helped. At Metro or UNO, you mentioned some of your business classes. Anything outside of those that you think have helped you mature and grow into the position that you're in right now that you can share with the audience?
I would honestly just probably say my will, I guess maybe is not the right word, but just to learn on your own. IT, you can, obviously when you're in school, you learn stuff in school. When you're getting your job, you learn stuff day to day throughout your job. But you also have to learn outside of those things on your own, because IT is constantly changing. So staying up to date on the latest in new technology, or even just staying up to date on what's happening in your company. Like for my company, I know we're getting new technology every day. Like now we're going to like cloud-based. Even if you're not working on that, just staying up to date, honestly, I feel like it's something that is so important to be successful in IT, because you never know what that could help, you or help your company, anything. So I would just say stay up to date, have that will to learn on your own. And yeah, I would just say that. Okay,
so lifelong learning, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, quantify that for some of the audience, especially our students. What does that look like for you? Like maybe a breakdown of your week. I know you were in classes, your semester just ended, but on average, outside of your work time, how much personal time are you spending for just staying current on the technologies that you work with, or just looking ahead to what's coming?
Yeah, so outside of like work and school, I would say honestly probably per week, I don't spend that much time, but maybe like 3 hours a week I'm spending learning on my own. Like even at work when I have downtime, I'm on Google, or I'm on a site called Test Automation University, like doing little courses on there, like on stuff that I may not be as comfortable with, or that I don't know, just so I can keep learning and stay up to date on things out there.
Gotcha.
Like I said, there's cloud is happening within our company. I'm not working on that, but I am still interested in the cloud, as I know that's something new. So when I have the opportunity, I'm talking to people in the company who are working on that, trying to get some knowledge and things like that. So honestly, I would just say, yeah, like I said, I'm spending like three hours outside of work and school, but at work I'm still actively learning.
Good. I think that's so important for, the audience in general, but students in particular to hear that it doesn't stop when you get through with your formal education. So that's good to hear. So kind of related to that, like, and you've touched on it a little bit, but if you can elaborate more, since when you started the internship into present, can you maybe reflect on one or two like challenges you've had in the role, just, something you've come across that's maybe stumped you a little bit and you've had to dig deep or use some of those extra resources you've had to help you get over a hurdle that you may have encountered? Can you recall anything? Or?
I think for me specifically, some challenges that I had when I was an intern is that with me being an intern, not getting as much work, or, it's like, okay, well, you're an intern, we're going to have you do this. But it's like, for me, what I had to do was I had to speak up and be like, okay, well, I'm done with this. I already got this down. Can I work on something else, or can I learn something new? Like, hey, what are you doing? Can I shadow you on that? I think that was probably one of the difficulties I had, is just getting more learning opportunities, because, intern, it's a title, but, some people, unfortunately, in corporate America may see you as, you know, less, okay, you're just an intern. Like, you do what you're supposed to do and I'll do what I'm supposed to do. So just fighting for, you know, those opportunities to learn more and do more was probably a challenge I faced. And also, again, I had a unique experience because I got hired during COVID. So when I got hired, the company was doing like a hybrid type of thing. Like I think the employees would come into the office 1 week and be home for 2 weeks or something like that. So like none of my team members or people I was working with directly on a day-to-day basis, they weren't in the office. So I was communicating with them strictly through like Zoom and online. So that was also difficult because it's like, I can't just get up and walk to your desk if I have a question. I have to email you and then we have to set up some time and things like that. So I feel like with those type of things, if you are facing those type of challenges, just like I said, just be diligent. You know, you have to stay on top of people. You know, obviously they have their work as well, but you're also an intern, and your intern literally means you're there to learn, you know, to get that knowledge while you are in that role. So just fighting to get as much knowledge as possible before you move on or go to full time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, would you say that perseverance helped, and did that make a difference in you getting consideration for the full-time position?
It definitely did, and it also helped with my internship being extended as long as it was, because the internship was only supposed to be a year, but because I was, when I got hired, I was close to graduating Metro, but then I moved to UNO, right? So it was still not a possibility really for me to move to full-time, but me, you know, them seeing my willingness to learn and knowing how hard I worked, they were willing to keep extending my internship as long as obviously I was up for it and I wanted it, which I did, until, you know, now here I am full-time. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I should have, you know, apologized to the audience, but can you, let's go back, you know, I made a lot of assumptions, but for the audience's sake, again, your role is Associate Automated Test Engineer, is that correct?
Yep.
Tell the audience what that means, and then let's maybe go, the next question is, what does that look like on a day-to-day basis, if you can?
Sure. So just broadly, what that means is, you know, we have our developers, they develop our product, our application that we're working on, and we test it. Using we're supposed to, you know, automate the test scripts and things like that. Day to day, I still do a lot of manual testing, but that is just specific to like the team that I'm on and the products that we have. It's not company wide, but there are, you know, times or products that we have to develop those scripts for. And like I said, we use Selenium paired with Java is what we use at our company. So using that Java language, writing those test scripts to test our products, our applications, and things like that is really what a day-to-day base looks like for me. Regression testing of the products that or the scripts that we already have in those products. And yeah, that's really, I think, what a day-to-day looks like.
And that was kind of my next leading question. So you kind of touched on Selenium, I'm familiar with, and the Java. Are there any other tools in your toolbox that you use on a regular basis that you can share with the audience?
Selenium, Java, sorry. We do use other tools. I don't know if they're specific to our company or industry wide. We use like sorry, I'm just losing my train of thought.
You're fine.
We use Rally, which is like tracking of like our all of our work that we do. We use Rally to track our work. Obviously, we use the simple things like Excel, Word. We use an application called like Inspro, which is like our policy admin system. And for those that don't know, Physicians Mutual is an insurance company. I forgot to say that. Physicians Mutual is an insurance company, but there are many different departments within the company, and IT is one of them.
And
so
you all obviously, or you support various apps that the organization has.
Right. Yes.
Gotcha. And then Selenium is a common tool in the test automation industry. So maybe tell the audience a little bit about what does that specifically do, and how does that help you find efficiencies in your job?
Yeah, so like I said, Selenium is where we write our test scripts in, or house our test scripts, if that's the right word. Within Selenium, we use TestNG to like execute the scripts. Selenium, as well as any other product, has like the built-in libraries that we use. to help us with our scripts. I said TestNG.
Yep.
So yeah, we use built-in TestNG to run the scripts. I don't know. I don't really know what else more to say about it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's let me see. I got a few more questions for you here. So I've asked you about technologies. How do you see, MaRaya, the field of software testing evolving in the coming years, and what opportunities or challenges for you personally might that present?
Yeah. So this is so funny because I think about this question all the time. Honestly, I feel like with software testing, I do see in the future that manual testing is going to eventually be no longer. Like I said, I do still do a lot of manual testing now just because of the software that I work with. But in the next few years, I see, if you don't know how to automate and you want to test, then I'm not sure if there's going to be jobs for you in this field, because manual testing is really not, as widely used anymore. Automation is the way to go. So I definitely see that changing. As far as how I see that affecting me, I don't think I see it affecting me very much, because like I said, I'm constantly learning and trying to stay up to date so that it doesn't affect me. When that happens, I want to have those tools and that knowledge up under my belt so that whatever happens in the industry, I can, pivot and tackle it to keep, to have that job security. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
And I'll, I suspect yes, but for the audience's sake, would you say foundational skills are the key? Because hopefully those foundational skills you got with us, those you'll continue to get with UNO, are going to allow you to do those pivots when the time comes, right?
Definitely. Foundation skills are key. Because like I said, IT is constantly changing, but just because it's constantly changing doesn't mean you're going to always use it. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So if you have those foundational keys or those foundational languages and that works for whatever you're trying to do, keep using it. You don't have to use the new and the shiny, softwares or technology if there's nothing wrong with, that using that. So I definitely say foundation is key, or like the basic normal not basic, but the well-known softwares, they're always going to be there.
Right.
And
even the you mentioned earlier the foundational class you took with us, so you learned some networking.
Yes.
Obviously learned programming.
Exactly.
And, you mentioned cloud a couple times, and so just hopefully being able to pivot, and even though you maybe didn't take a deep dive here with us, or potentially not at UNO, you can reflect on those skills if and when opportunities come, I would imagine, in the future. So
yes, definitely.
Gotcha. Okay, a couple more questions and I'll be done. So let's see. Can you reflect on or share a memorable experience or accomplishment again back here at MCC? You've given a couple, but maybe anything that still stood out retrospectively that it's been, maybe you'd like to share with the audience that could help give someone an epiphany if this is an area that they might be interested in.
I would say probably getting both of my internships. Oh, I didn't mention that, but I actually got another internship while I was here through Metro, or Avenue Scholars, if you want to say. It was with Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
I remember, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't IT aligned, but that was my first real grown adult job. And so, like I said, I wouldn't have had that opportunity if it wasn't for Metro and Avenue Scholars, because that was the internship was specifically because they paired with Avenue Scholars to give students that opportunity. So I think honestly just getting both of my internships and having that ability to, like I said, navigate the corporate America world was a big thing or a big accomplishment, because I wouldn't have had those opportunities without Metro and Avenue Scholars. So.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear. And I'm guessing you've gained confidence along the way. And
yes.
Yeah. It's funny. I don't know if you remember. You came. It was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were doing a video here talking about your experience. I think when you first got your internship at Physicians, and just me seeing the growth and maturity since that time is just nice to see. So I just wanted to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
So 2 more questions. So kind of ask you this, but kind of a different way. So as someone who's in the process of, let me try this again. As someone who is in the process of successfully transitioning from academia to the full adulting world or professional world, any other advice for those students? I think you kind of said it, so getting some work experience, but anything else for maybe that high school student or Metro student or even students at UNO that any other wisdom you might impart with the audience or listeners?
I would say building connections.
Okay.
Wherever you go, build connections. Because you never know who you know that can help you. Like I said, you helped me get, you know, my internship at Physicians Mutual. If I didn't know you, I would have never knew about the opportunity. Like, you literally showed me the opportunity. It was like, hey, I think you should, you know, go out for this. So if I didn't have that relationship with you, and that communication with you, then I wouldn't even be in this role. So building relationships, I feel like, is really key. I know that's like cliche, and people always say that, oh, build your network, but it truly is important.
Yeah. And are you seeing that as you kind of moved into this new role?
Definitely.
Gotcha.
I definitely am.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. So let's see, one last question. So and you kind of answered this too. Well, let me digress again at two. So just, I think, seeing yourself, when we've had a few other students come through Metro that have gone on the pathways in software testing and automation. So for our audience, and kind of a shameless plug, we're rolling out a new software testing and automation cert this fall.
Oh.
So super excited, inspired by you and a few other students that have found early successes in that. So, you know, more to come. We'll share that on our website. But midterm, long-term career goals, I mean, have you thought about beyond, you know, once you get through with your undergrad degree, do you see a long-term future at Mutual? I mean, I'm sorry, Physicians Mutual, and or software testing and automation, or do you want to evolve your IT career?
I've definitely thought about this a few times. I feel like as of now, my thought is I do see a long-time future at Physicians, and I can see a long-time future doing automation testing. Obviously, with any role or job, there's ups and downs that comes with it. So there are times where I feel like, maybe I should be a developer, but then I think about being a developer, and I'm like,
different.
I don't know. So, but as far as right now, my thoughts for like long term, I'm sorry, definitely staying at Physicians as an automation tester. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all my questions. So good to catch up with you again. You got any questions for me that you want to ask, or?
I guess I would say, because you mentioned the new, I'm sorry, testing.
We were calling it Software Testing and Automation Career Cert.
Okay, so that's rolling out. So, and I know you said that was like because a few students that seen, you know, like success in that. So, I guess, like, when did that decision come about to, you know, roll that out?
Well, we've been working. I mean, it's been probably, frankly, a 2-year process that we've been working. So, I don't know if you remember, we have what are called advisory board or business industry leadership team committees. So, over the last 2 years, we've been vetting companies like Physicians Mutual, Huddle, Mutual of Omaha, a couple of other companies, but those stand out for me about, you know, they each have roles and varied capacities in that role, in that space. And so our task was, you know, again, based upon yourself, and I think about 3 or 4 other students that have, you know, we were preparing you guys for full stack development roles, and because of your skill set, those companies came back and said, oh, we looked at your students and they might be best or better suited for these roles. And so it really started us to explore. So it really has been like a 2-year journey that we've been working in. Just over the last 12 months, we've kind of solidified that, brought what that feedback looks like together, and now it's in the form of a 7-class career cert. So, so yeah, it's standalone. You can, you know, a lot of the stuff you talked about, students will get exposed to Java, some JavaScript, some testing automation tools, and some manual testing concepts. And yeah, so you are one of the influences that kind of brought that to fruition. So
wow. Yeah, I think that's wonderful, because many colleges don't have, you know, specific to testing and things like that. So
yeah, we're excited about it. Yeah,
Metro's always innovative.
We're trying to stay in front of it, so as best we can. Cool, that's a good question. So, you know, we'll and actually, I mean, I think it's perfect because, you know, I'll talk to you offline about this, but we want those folks that are actively working in industry, especially yourself, that you got in on the ground floor. You know, we would love to hear your feedback on that advisory committee down the road to say, here's what I learned at Metro, here's what you guys can do better. You know, we'll have you take a look at our curriculum and see if there's things it's this continuous improvement. So we'll talk offline about that too. Yeah. All right, well, MaRaya, good so much to catch you again, good catching up with you. Yeah, welcome, and I'll keep watching you on LinkedIn to see those next level career progressions. So, and good luck on finishing up your degree at UNO too.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Glad to see you.
Yes.
Thanks to our audience, and stay tuned. Our next episodes will be coming up in the next few weeks. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.